going on, guys? Back again with another episode, and today we're going to be talking about how to be a good, successful client. All right, Nate, you want to roll us into some topics here on basically some bullet points on what we're going to discuss?
Yeah, so, biggest thing is obviously with us caring about our clients as much as we do, we want you guys to get the most out of this. So, talking about training, spreadsheet system, common questions over and over, just making sure that you're getting the most out of this as much as we put into it for you.
We really care about our client success. So, whenever you have a client who seems to be struggling to get on board, they can be very frustrating because, we can't want it more than you. In the end of the day, if I could, I'd do all the work for everybody because that's just how I am. I'm a very, productive mindset person. I have to have, we got to be moving forward. That's just my personality. Others, not so much. Sometimes they might struggle a little bit. It can be a huge lifestyle change, so I am very patient in the beginning, and I'll just try to, just encourage them to, make better habits daily. But as a client, it's your job to supply us with all the feedback possible, right? If we don't know what's going on, it's really hard for us to point you in the right direction. It can be essentially, I use this reference all the time when I'm talking to clients. If we don't have all of the tools that we need to make a decision, then we're essentially throwing a dart at a dartboard with our eyes closed, and we're hoping for the best. If I have all of the pieces to the puzzle, it's a whole lot easier for me to make a decision in the right direction. So, sometimes I feel like clients struggle to have that open line of communication. I've had clients tell me that before, that they don't want to bother me or they don't want to, do this or that. And I'm like, hey, well, that's what you pay for. You can text me anytime. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As long as it's, productive and you're giving me feedback or we're trying to problem solve or troubleshoot something, I don't mind at all whatsoever. Me and Nate were having this conversation the other day. Really, there's no TMI. The more the better. I'd rather have all the info than none of the info. Personally, I feel like clients that struggle to communicate are harder for me to work with than ones who over-communicate. Just because, again, you don't have all the context clues, so you're just trying to piece things together the best you can. Or if you're one of those clients that tends to lie to your coach, we're not stupid. We can tell who's been on it and who's not. You might as well come clean and let us know so that way we can help you. It's just one of those things where you have to hold yourself accountable before we're able to hold you accountable. We're not with you 24/7. I might see some people a little more than others because they train with me in person, but even then, I only see them for several hours a week. There's a lot of hours that I'm not in front of them that they could be slipping up and doing something they're not supposed to.
And there's really no point, to build on that, fibbing on the activity track, the activity tracker.
Yes. Yeah.
Why are we going to fib on it and say we got this count step or we did this cardio when we didn't? So now when we're not getting the proper results for you to make you feel good about yourself or your progress, now we're changing everything based on a bunch of misinformation.
Yeah. It's essentially data that we're collecting, right, guys? So we're collecting data to establish a baseline to decide where we need to go, right? Do we need to increase steps, cardio? Do we need to pull back food? Do we need to increase food? If we're just getting, a bunch of bad data, it's really hard to come up with a correct answer. Answers also tend to vary client to client. It's not always going to be the same answer. So if we don't have, good data, it can be really hard for us to make a judgment call. And that's essentially why you hire a coach, is you're giving them the chance to make the judgment call for you. So really, you should just trust in your coach, be honest with your coach, work for your coach, hire somebody that you want to work for, you want to please. Basically somebody you look up to and you respect, and it's just one of those things where, I've said this before and I'll say it again, you don't hire a coach for a secret meal plan or a secret training program or a secret gear protocol. It doesn't exist. You're hiring a coach that you feel confident in, that's going to take your health into consideration, that's going to get you headed, in the right direction for your goal, and get you there to the best of their abilities and on like a timely manner, not somebody who's going to tell you to eat gummy worms and drink a lemonade before you go to bed and you'll wake up like shredded. It just doesn't work like that. You take 10 of the best coaches in Middle Tennessee, and we're all going to have chicken and rice on your program. There's going to be leg press on there. There's going to be, some form of potato on there, eggs, steak, fish, barbell squats, bench press, hack squats. It's all the same thing. We have our flows with things and the ways that we like to do things. We might have our specific systems in place of how we coach, but there's not too much difference in them. So you're hiring somebody that you feel comfortable with, that you can communicate with, and it's going to take everything into consideration that you give them feedback-wise.
Hold you accountable for it.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's a lot of bullet points that you should look for in a coach, and those are some of the things that we'll get into as well. But our main, message with this podcast specifically is just learn how to be a good client. Learn how to nail your daily variables and do everything that you're supposed to, and learn how to communicate with your coach if you're not doing those things. So that way we know what we need to do in order to move forward. Because we're always looking for a way to move forward. Whatever that may be, we're looking for it. So if we can't find it because we're getting bad information, it's hard for us to be productive there. So you got any other things you want to touch on before we shift gears?
I think you pretty much hit it.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, we're also going to touch on how to hire a good coach. I'm going to let Nate start because he had recently made the decision to hire me. So I think he might have some really good pointers there, and I feel like I pretty much took all the main points for the last topic. So you go ahead, man.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing is, like Cody said, making sure it's going to be a coach that fits you. So what I looked for, and I had watched Cody for several months before I really got to know him anyways, but do your background, do some research, and I always tell everyone, for instance, we've got multiple trainers here, so talk to different trainers, find their stuff, just by talking to them, you can kind of get into a groove of doing their personality. But when you're looking for a coach, you don't want someone that's going to be a yes man or, just feed you a bunch of crap. I know damn well Cody doesn't put his clients, I don't put my clients on the treadmill for a majority of their workout. You're paying for a session, so the cardio you can do on your own. But look for someone who's going to fit your style and someone who's going to care about your results, not just the potential income to them. Because I care about my clients' results. Cody does.
Yeah.
And I hired Cody because I knew he's going to look at what I need to do to level up. And he's going to hold me accountable for that. If I slack or I have an off day, I know he's going to be on my ass. And that's what I do with my clients too. And I don't harp them. I don't, to the point where I'm going to make them cry for the day, but I will hold them accountable when I say, look, this is what we should have done. This is what we need to do. This is where we need to go. So accountability is the biggest thing.
And we kind of all have our ways of doing that too. Right. I'm very much professional in my feedback, but I am very I usually like to give at least one positive before I'll give a negative, right? So I will try to point out areas that we're succeeding in before I nitpick the areas that we need to improve on. Just because I like my clients to feel like they're being seen, like that I value, their work ethic. And if they're putting in the work, and I know they are, I'm always going to compliment those areas that they're doing well in. But I will point out the areas that I want to see improved, especially if I think that, that's going to be the missing piece to really push us in the right direction and build momentum. I feel like you're doing a disservice to your clients as a coach if you're not being honest with them. If you're just being a yes man, giving a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. In the end of the day, you're you're holding them back, and they're paying you for you to make them better. So like you should be honest with them if you think that there's something that needs to be improved on, and if clients don't like it, nobody really likes being held accountable necessarily. Sometimes it can feel like an attack, but in the end of the day, you just got to know your coach is telling you these things because they want to see you do better. Just have an open mindset with it, take that feedback, that constructive criticism, and roll with it, man, and just like, okay, well, areas of improvement, I need to do better on my water this week, and I need to do better on my steps. Once we nail those down, if there's something else we need to work on, then I'll point that out, and I usually tend to just point out one or two things at a time. I try not to overwhelm people.
Yeah, I like to pick out the one or two things, the biggest ones that I know are going to play the most beneficial factor over the next 2-week check-in.
Yeah, the struggle areas for sure. Usually, like with a typical lifestyle client, it's just meals and water, right? So you just got to kind of just encourage them to do better and try better, try harder, and just be like, it's going to be a lifestyle change. It's going to take you a little bit of time. And I think that's where you got to kind of have a little patience as a coach, too. I think it's some people, they've never been on a organized eating regimen like that. So it might take them, several months to really get in line with it, learn how to be prepared, cook your meals, bring your meals, eat your meals, learn how to cook food, make it taste good. Like, it takes time, so that's one of those things, it's only going to get better with time. So I think just taking that feedback and doing the best you can with it, it's going to, only increase your results. And that's why you guys hire us, but we're making this video too to just kind of touch on it's a team effort. It's not just, you hire us and we do all the work for you. It's we help you do the work. We encourage you to do the work. We hold your hand while you do the work.
We don't expect you to do it alone either.
Yeah, exactly.
In the trenches with you, trying to escalate you up to the next level.
Absolutely. So that's one thing that you should definitely look for in a coach is just somebody who's going to hold you accountable, but in a professional manner too, in my opinion, I think you should always have that professional relationship with your clients, even if you guys are friends. You just got to wear that coach's cap and wear it well, wear it with confidence, and step up and speak out whenever you need to. So I think obviously that definitely a knowledge background. You want to hire somebody who actually knows what they're doing. Like I do feel like the knowledge is very important, but some people will hire more like people who are popular on social media and stuff. It's like a lot of the great coaches and trainers aren't on Instagram because they're too busy. Like that's 99% of my struggle is finding the time to gather content and sit down and post it. Like I'm pretty strapped during the week, so it takes me a long time to actually sit down and like plan stuff out like that. But I would hire somebody who has a knowledge background and who actually cares and is gonna work. Some people, I've heard horror stories of people hiring coaches and like coach never checking in on them, never like replying to their check-ins, not giving feedback, not changing anything, hard to get in touch with, things like that. Those are some red flags you should definitely, avoid. If anybody's like that, they're not going to be on you and taking their job seriously. Like they're not going to be, I guess, prioritizing their work. So, you want to hire somebody who is going to take your goals and accept them as their goals too, and they want to push forward in that direction with you. They have to be equally on board as you are, if not more. I buy into clients instantly. I give 110% to every single client that comes my way. Now, I have had instances where I've had people sit down in front of me that I don't think were a good fit. And, I've told them that, and I don't mind if you guys do want to do a consultation, and I don't think that we'd be a good fit, I'll help you find another coach that would be a better fit. If you tell me, like, you need X, Y, and Z, and I'm not X, Y, and Z, then I'll just straight up tell you that. I've done that before. I'm like, hey, like, this is how I roll, this is how I do things, and this is what I like. This is just how I run my business.
That's what works.
If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. I'd rather tell you that and help you find another coach than us try to work together for 3 months and it just not, like, we're just butting heads the whole time, you know, and it's just like, all right, like, this isn't a good fit. Like, I'd prefer to just not, you know. So I'm at that point where I'm just like, if you want to work with me, awesome. Like, I would love to have you. But, like, if I feel like it's not a great fit, then I'll help you find someone else, you know. So I think that's definitely the main points to look for in a coach. Knowledge background for sure. And then, in my opinion, somebody who actually leads by example. You know, somebody who actually does what they say, you know, like practice what you preach type situation.
I'm big on that.
Yeah.
Like, man, if you don't look the part,
Yeah.
you're not living the part,
Yeah.
how are you going to teach the part?
That's my opinion too. And there's a lot of great coaches out there that aren't necessarily bodybuilders, but they were at some point, or they at least like take their fitness goals seriously. You know, like that's my opinion on it. You know, or they have like a knowledge background of schooling, mentorships. Like they've at least done their homework to like get to that level of knowledge, or they have a very impressive lineup of clients too. So those are always some great things you can look for. You can always reach out to one of the clients and ask them how they enjoy working with their coach, you know. I know all the coaches and trainers here, we all do free consultations too. So you're, you know, always open to calling, sitting down with them, kind of going over everything, ask them straight up direct questions and just kind of see how they roll. You know, I think pretty much the main points we hit on there. And then obviously somebody who values health. You know, if you got a coach that doesn't ask for blood work, like that's a big red flag right there. So, did you have any other points on that?
I was going to throw in the lab work. I mean, that's one of our biggest things is being able to see that from the get-go. That leads us to know what direction we need to go to start the course that we're going to go on. So that is a big key point. If they're not asking for labs, blood work, or asking you to go get them done sooner than later, that's a big red flag.
Yeah, I'm always straight up front, especially if I have an enhanced athlete. I ask immediately, or we're getting fresh ones, depending on how old they are. If it's a lifestyle client that's like not doing anything like that, and I'll be like, hey, like we're gonna get them soon. Let's just like, you know, and I'll kind of go over it with them, tell them to reach out to the primary care provider to see. They usually know if they have a medical like issue. If not, then you know we'll send them in and get labs done. But it's not a super high precedence. But they're enhanced. I'm like, all right, like we need to get this done now,
Right.
Or I need to see some fresh labs before we even get started on that. I might start them with diet and everything first, but like before I prescribe anything extra, then like we're definitely looking at labs first. So, but I think that's some definitely like huge red flags right there. Or you know, you don't have like any supplement protocol, like any health supplement. Like I've seen some programs that, you know, incoming clients have sent me where they didn't have them taking any type of health supplements. And it's just like, it was very like a third grader wrote this, you know.
Just training,
very,
cardio,
yeah.
diet, done.
Yes. It's very unprofessional,
Right.
for, you know, to say the least. So, but that's definitely just some good pointers in looking for a coach and being ready to work. Just make sure before you actually take that leap and invest, make sure you're ready to put in the work. Because again, this is a team effort. You know, we're putting in work for you guys. You guys got to be putting in work for us, and also giving us good feedback to help you. You know, that's really the only way that this works is a team effort, team relationship. So
You really do have to have an open mind going into it because it's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of lifestyle changes, a lot more work ethic that's going to go into this. You will learn discipline, and it will start to become automaticity where it becomes natural to you, and it will take time. But you've got to want it so that we can help you achieve it.
Yep. I think that's a wrap right there, man. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, comments, or if you guys want to have some help finding a coach, or you guys have questions specifically on what you should look for, please reach out to me, reach out to Nate, reach out to any of the trainers or coaches here. Here at Carbon, we definitely have the best of the best. So really, you can't go wrong with any of us guys.
Appreciate it. I'm going to drop one topic. I am going to read this. We do have a bodybuilding or a powerlifting event, coming up February 10th here at Carbon that we'll be hosting. So Christopher Baden and Jim Pickett will be judges. It is a $10 entry. all donations and all entries go to first responder donation. So that'll be awesome right there. It'll be a bench and a squat powerlifting event, calculated with body weight and one most weight lifted. No gear, only belts. Hotels will have a section lined up, so if you need a hotel to stay, we'll have a C-section picked out already for you to book. The start time is going to be 12 p.m. Sign-up deadline is February 9th. Weigh-ins will be done February 10th before the lifting event starts. And I'll get more info and more on that, but just wanted to get that out there, let everybody know we're going to have that.
Yeah. Stay tuned on the Carbon page, guys. I'm sure we'll drop all this on Instagram. So come lift some heavy ass weight and show off all the work you've been putting in. Thanks for watching, guys.
Mm-hmm.